There is no force, especially no force of gravity, because gravity isn't a force, according to Einstein. And again, under Newton's first law, you can't have acceleration without a force. This was my whole point when I went around and around and around for 3 hours with bloody FTFE. It was not where does the force come from, it was where does the acceleration come from. Because in order to have acceleration, you need to have a force to cause that acceleration, and you don't have a force causing that acceleration, do you, Blue?
There seems to be a problem with your brainstem. I can't believe we're gonna have to explain this again. But if you don't understand it, you'll just wave your hands and say it's not true, like you always do again. You shouldn't listen to the Duke of Dents, wearing his lab coat, playing with his water and eggs. He couldn't think his way out of a coma ward. He doesn't get a simple metaphor, so let's snap this one in two. Cause I am here to help you. Try to grasp a concept even Einstein couldn't teach you. The gravity of your misunderstanding of the reason things fall is incredible, but there's still hope. If you're open to it, we can get into it. Sleeping Warrior hasn't had time to drain all of your IQ yet. There's still some left, but let's get some funky bass first. Oh yeah. Tap your feet. Turn on your brain. I'm gonna tickle your brain cells, Rachie. I'm gonna help you excel, Rachie. You're gonna understand why you don't understand what we all understand. When Newton saw the apple fall, he didn't know why the apple fell at all. He just knew things move when you push them. So if you look, there must be a force then. And Newton's first law states that if a body is at rest or moving at a constant speed in a straight line, it will remain at rest or keep moving in a straight line at a constant speed unless it's acted upon by a force. So what is the force that made this apple fall from the tree, Rachie? Well, Newton's second law quantifies the description of the changes that a force can produce on the motion of a body. It explains that the time rate of change of the momentum of a body is equal in both magnitude and direction to the force imposed on it. So the question is, what is the force that is pulling the apple out of the tree, Rachie? Well, Newton's third law states that when two bodies interact, they apply forces to one another that are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. The third law is also known as the law of action and reaction. So what is this force that the bodies are exerting on each other, Rachie? Oh my God! Well, the problem Newton had is that his laws implied that there is action at a distance. That is, action without any explanation for that action. Newton didn't like this because it meant his laws were incomplete. So what happened then, a couple hundred years later, is a smart German guy turned up in order to give the explanation for the action at a distance, snapping the wand in two as Sleeping Warrior doesn't understand. Let's find out what that means, shall we, Rachie? Eins, zweins, dreins, vier. I'm a very clever man with a very simple plan to explain gravity in a way that we can all understand. It shouldn't be such a mystery. There are things in the universe that are very large, and they're sitting on a plane made of space and time. Yes, space and time. It is all the same thing. Now we move through space and time on a constant path, but if the space and time is warped by a large body of mass, we move along a curved path. From an observer on the outside of that path, it would appear that we are accelerating downwards or towards the center of the distortion in the space and the time. This means that there is an apparent acceleration, which creates an apparent force. This force can be measured and used in Newton's equations to explain why there is a fucking acceleration, Rachie. Do you understand now?
There is no force, especially no force of gravity, because gravity isn't a force, according to Einstein.
Scheiße.